the ground, and that was Ali Ludwig. So she is in this group. Right now, we are going to get things started with Carla Santillan of Argentina. This is her first attempt, 78 kilos. No lift there for Carla.
Let's see that one again from the side. Actually looked pretty good off of the ground, and I thought it had a very solid punch out. Okay, we're checking it out from the front here then. But honestly, looked really good, and she you wonder if she was deciding whether or not to fight for that one, but she ended up missing it behind, but she still has 2 attempts and didn't look terribly heavy at all for her. So she is on a 2-minute clock and will be following herself.
So that
here.
weight, Carla is young. She's a youth athlete. And that is a weight that we've seen her do before. We saw her do it last year in Cartagena. She snatched 79 on her 3rd attempt. So here she is opening with 78. We'll take a look at it again from the side.
And she does start to rock back a little bit. You
That's
can see
all
her
that it
weight
was.
shift to her heels. And we have seen some athletes fight that over the weekend. She chose not to. Now, sometimes that is a good decision. In weightlifting, knowing how to make a safe miss is important. And she still has 2 more attempts. So,
and that didn't look anywhere near a max struggle. So I think she just was feeling it going back on her, decided to bail out, take your 2-minute clock, come back and make it. So here she is again. Carla Santillan of Argentina, 2nd attempt, 78 kilos.
Similar issue. She tried to fight it there, and you can see, we'll look at this again from the side. She does spend a couple of seconds in the bottom there fighting the bar as it drifts back. But similar thing, is not actually able to keep it from moving behind her. And
same thing. You see the toes come up. That's what I always look to. You always know when a lifter is rocking back. Sometimes you can see the body moving, but it's always very clear. If you have just a little bit of daylight under the front of the foot, it's obvious the lifter is back on her heels. And that's, as you mentioned, that is 2 in a row. And now this is where you get into frustration territory.
Now, the other implication here, obviously, beyond this just being a competition in which every lifter in this A session might have their eye on a medal, or at least getting up in the rankings. This is a point-scoring meet. This opens the qualification period and the point-scoring period for the 2019 Pan American Games, set to be held in Lima, Peru. And because of the nature and size of this competition, every athlete who makes good snatch, clean and jerk, and total attempts will score points for their team toward that qualification.
And with this class, with just 10 lifters in it, these are big points. I mean, this is a 16-point lift minimum for the Argentinian women's team, and they have brought a full team here. They are looking for as many spots as they can. So this is a do-or-die spot with 78 kilos. And there we go.
And that is as you mentioned, JP, that is a clutch lift. That means a lot of points on the board for Team Argentina, even if she places last in this session. Those are important points toward Pan Am Games qualification. And Argentina, a team that we only saw bring 1 athlete to last year's Pan American Championships. Full squad this week.
A full young squad.
Yeah.
Almost, not all of them, but I want to say at least half have been juniors or youth. They've been very young.
They have a couple of a couple of veterans, but certainly on the younger side, we're seeing that from a lot of teams this weekend. And that brings up Yesenia Lezama of Venezuela, opening at 85 kilograms.
Good start there.
All right, very solid opener. And like a few of the other sessions we've seen this week, JP, there is a little bit of a separation between I'd say 4 or 5 lifters in this session and the top 4 or 5 lifters in this session.
And it's going to be a dogfight once we get to that top 4 or 5. Right now, 4 lifters are slated with openers of 100 kilos. Now, granted, we always see this change, but just to put it in perspective, 4 lifters sitting on openers of 100 kilos. The leader potentially would be Crismary Santana, who is sitting on 105. But Santana was the third highest lifter on the start list, so this will compress as we get toward the latter part of this competition.
And this is also a weight class where we haven't seen it competed on the international stage that much. I mean, really, this is the first year of this weight, the first full year of this weight class's existence. Now, we actually did see it a little bit in 2016 at the American Open, which I believe was the first national level meet. We actually saw it, national level or above meet, we saw it contested. So as far as kind of where that bar is, as far as top athletes in
It's
this
still
session,
feeling itself out.
it's still feeling itself out, you know.
But the Pan Am, we'll mention here, after Elena Rosario of Dominica makes her first attempt with 90 kilos, this is her first appearance at Pan Am. She is a junior lifter. No lift.
Similar thing, you see her rock back. Let's check it again from the side. And I think we're actually going to see her loop this bar a little bit, and maybe shoot it out with the hips on that second pull. Watch right here, yeah.
And what that creates is that looping motion, and the bar just swung right over. That's a classic miss when you see that.
And that is one of the oddities of weightlifting. Shooting the bar forward in the pull results in missing lifts behind oftentimes.
Right, as opposed to up.
Right.
And you get that nice straight lines. All right, so now we are back to Yesenia Lezama of Venezuela. Second attempt, 90 kilos. She made her opener with 85. No.
It actually looked pretty good. It seems like she got shot out a bit from it at the bottom. Sometimes when that barbell is just slightly in front, the lift might look good, but this is certainly a game of centimeters, if not millimeters. And as we'll see here, was not able to really secure it overhead.
Maybe a little long on the pull. Stayed with it a bit too long before she decided to turn over and drop under the bar.
All right, with that, we will bring out the junior lifter from the Dominican Republic, Alana Rosario. Missed her first lift behind. Let's see if she can make the correction without overcorrecting.
There we go. Nice adjustment, good lift. Nice position all the way through. Doesn't really change speed much as she goes through it, but we'll see this again on replay. Very composed, I would say, type of lift, and technically very sound. She did not swing that bar away from her. Much better.
I like that patience in the bottom position there. So she is on the board, and that means we will have Yesenia Lezama come up for her third and final attempt, 90 kilograms. This is 5 kilos up on her opener. She did miss it on her second attempt.
It was better. Just a bit in front, though. It was in front of her body the whole way. She never really got it back into position where she would have a chance to stand up with that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So that means, take a look at this again, but that means Lezama will be credited with her opening attempt of 85 kilos. And now that will bring out Keishla Rodriguez.
And, you know, JP, we are off to a, I would say it's an exciting start here in this session, but certainly a challenging start. I think some of these lifters are taking aggressive weights.
We're 50-50.
Maybe a little bit under, actually. Maybe a little bit more aggressive than we have seen in some other sessions.
Which tells you, because our first 6 lifts, we're 50-50. We're 3 for 6 to start the session off. So now here's Rodriguez of Colombia. She was here last year in Cartagena as a super. 3 for 3, 6 for 6 actually. She made 90 kilos on her second attempt. Here she is opening with 92, one body weight class down.
Great looking lift from Rodriguez. And as we take another look at that, you know, you mentioned she was a super and she's a body weight class down, but her body weight's actually about a kilo up on last year.
Oh, good point. Yeah, she weighed in at 86.5.
So this is a great. Let's take another look at this lift here. Nice looking lift. I really like that.
You see also that it started to drift on her.
A little bit of a helicoptering.
It was drifting. She's still okay because she had control and she was in alignment. So good lift, good job. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're seeing that she dropped down a weight class without actually dropping any weight, and it's something we've seen a lot of athletes do. And certainly the introduction of this women's heavyweight class, of a new women's heavyweight class between 75 and 75 plus, as it previously was. Is something that athletes, coaches, and fans have been advocating for quite some time, actually, because you do get athletes, maybe they're taller athletes, maybe they're just naturally heavier athletes. She weighed in at 86 kilos last year, but was competing against athletes who might weigh 100 kilos, 120 kilos, all the way up.
Too, as you mentioned, no change in body weight, so she is the perfect example. I mean, her response to finding out about this new weight class was probably thank you.
It was I don't have to change a thing. Great.
The real question is how long will this class stick around? With some of the changes that we expect to come. I don't know that we'll see anything until the middle of the quad. It's really up in the air. We don't know at all. But one can expect that there's a possibility that this is the only time that we do, or that we run a 90 kilo category and a plus 90 kilo category.
It's certainly possible.
At a Pan Am's, it's possible. We'll see. But now we are going to go back to Elena Rosario of Dominica. Third attempt, 95 kilos. Never stopped it. We'll see if that loop is there again.
So she will be credited with her second attempt at 90, but much like her first attempt here.
See if the bar kicks away.
Yeah. A little bit.
Just enough.
Maybe not as pronounced as her opening attempt, but... All
right, so now this will bring out USA's Ali Ludwig at 97 kilos.
Nope.
She was moved up.
We do have a change, and this will bring up the second attempt for Kishla Rodriguez of Puerto Rico. Looked very strong on her first, did have a bit of movement turning toward her right, was able to secure it. So what I'm going to be watching here, JP, is her balance, and if she's able to keep her body straight. Now, some lifters do have that turning motion, the tendency to turn, and they make it work. But something I will be watching here. Similar thing. We'll watch it again from the side, and that is legal. You can turn. The feet and body have to be in line, of course, in order to get the down signal. So let's take a look at that one from the side. Yeah,
where a lifter like this can get into trouble is when they have a tendency to keep helicoptering like this, and the referees don't give a down signal until that stops. Because then when you see this it starts small, but then a foot moves, then another foot moves, then all of a sudden you're facing the other direction.
And it's something where the athlete certainly has more time under tension, which can be tiring. But not only that, the bar is moving, and they actually have to resist that turn, at least temporarily, and stop moving. And this will bring up the first attempt for Alexandria Ludwig of Team USA. Oh, no, we do have a change, and this will be Jessica.
That's a second change for Ali, so whatever she's put in, she'll be next.
This will be Jessica Solis of Colombia, who will be opening at 100 kilograms. She is one of the lighter athletes in this session. It looks like she might be moving up from 75, or maybe just didn't bother to cut weight for this competition.
So she's moved up, now back to Ali at 100, and now the whole field is basically at 100 or close to it. So we have not seen 5 lifters. All 5 of them will open with at least 100 kilos, and that means Ali Ludwig will be the first because she's made 2 changes. So this is the weight that she must take here on her opening attempt, and she needs to get out there. There we go.
Ludwig is coached by Sean Waxman, who has joined us several times on the live stream over the course of the week.
Ali opened with and made 100 kilos at the American Open Series in Reno earlier this year. She's currently our 2017 national champion, first ever. at 90. Say that.
Looked a little hesitant off the ground there, JP. I'd like to watch that again from the side. Takes a long setup. She actually didn't have much time on the clock. Let's watch right here.
Took it off the ground 6 seconds, yeah. Well, good line, but she just sat back.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of pole position, maybe a little sluggish, like you said, not the most explosive.
Well, she's never been
attempt,
super
but
explosive off of the ground, to be honest. But she makes it work for her. And
everybody who was at 100 moved to 103.
wow.
Every one of them. So now Ludwig's on a 1 minute clock. So hit with a little bit of a strategy play. Now, implications here for Allie. She is not going to score any points for Team USA. This will, however, be a valid accepted total for her bid to make it to the Worlds.
That's correct.
So these are important lifts for her personally. This is an example of a lifter lifting totally on her own. There's no team implications of what she's doing. That's a good comeback.
Much better. And I believe this is her first ever international competition, JP.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yes, definitely is. Yeah, she made it here on the back of her performance at the Nationals in Chicago. So, just good job. Just good lift.
And with that, she is on the board. And again, as JP mentioned, she will not score points for Team USA. But a good performance here today goes a long way in getting her in position to compete at the World Championships, which will take place in Anaheim, California later this year in November and early December over about a 10-day span.
Yeah, I don't have the exact number, but I think Allie's going to need to be somewhere in that 230 range. We'll see if we get there. That'll get her into the middle of the pile of the rankings of the U.S. team that wants to make Worlds. So we'll see where she gets. In the meantime, Keishla Rodriguez, third attempt, currently 2 for 2. She made 97 on her second attempt.
All right, there's that turn, and we'll check it from the side there. I'm not really sure she brought her feet in line there, JP. I'm curious as to your opinion with your eagle eyes here. Check again from the side. She is awarded that lift.
Her feet actually are. Her hip
Her hip is turned. Yeah, that is a little.
She's moving the whole way, but she has control. She's established control. I think it's fine.
All right.
3 for 3.
I mean, certainly takes a lot of strength to be able to pull that off.
A unique one from what we've seen. I don't think we've seen anything like her thus far this week. All right, so now first attempt, Maria Valdez of Chile.
Now, she is one of 3 athletes currently listed to open at 103.
She was a 2016 Olympian, made 107. Third attempt, and it looks like she's got 103 here. She's a 2-time Olympian, actually. And she was the 75 kilo champion last year in Cartagena. So here she is up a class, and she's on the board with 103 kilos. Very nice opener.
Someone who has a perfect example of an athlete moving up into the 90 kilogram category. All right, and this will bring up Oliva Neve of Ecuador, another athlete opening at 103. Solid looking opener.
With authority
Nieve.
there.
Yeah. Nieve of Ecuador on the board, making 103 look pretty routine. And with that, we have yet another athlete opening at 103, Narjuri Perez of Venezuela. So we take another look there at Nieve's opening attempt snatch.
When we talk about the difference, say, of Nieve and Ludwig's first attempts, you see there's a different type of aggression there.
Certainly.
On Nieve, whereas Ali maybe looked a little passive. But either way, we will see now 103 one more time for the first attempt of Narjuri Perez. Good lift.
And that looks smooth all around. You talk about some lifters taking an aggressive stance, some a more methodical approach. That was just a very smooth lift. And let's take another look here at that lift from Perez. Great technique.
Perez was a super at the Olympics in Rio. She went 3 for 3 in the clean and jerk. She snatched 117, weighing about 100 kilos.
3 for 3 in the snatch.
3 for 3 in the
That's correct.
snatch.
It looks like she was not able to complete a clean and jerk
Right.
at the 2016 Rio Olympics. But she is an athlete who's come down somewhat significantly in body weight since that competition.
And she's opening significantly lighter here as a result. So,
all right, this currently Alexandria Ludwig is on the board at 104.
I think a change is going in right now, and it is.
All right, so Ludwig will go up to 105. I wouldn't be surprised to see her come out and take that, actually. And with this, we have Jessica Solis of Colombia, her opener at 105 kilograms.
Solis was a 3-time junior world junior world team member for Colombia. She is definitely here as a points play. She's one of probably their oldest lifter here. She was back in junior. She was in the junior worlds back in 2008. Wow.
Great looking lift from Solis. She's certainly on the older end for a young Colombian squad. Lady Solis, also year of birth, or actually 1990, I think.
90,
so
okay.
roughly the same age. So they're kind of grouped. Certainly on the older end of the spectrum for the Colombian squad. But
with Jessica, though, we had seen her compete at an international level back in 2009. I don't have a record of much activity internationally. You know, one meet in 2011 in El Salvador, but then we hadn't seen her back until now, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, she competed at a meet in Colombia. She did 217.
She could certainly be an athlete who kind of came out of a semi-retirement.
Yeah.
And because Colombia needed a 90 kilo, maybe because the 90 kilo class was introduced.
Yeah.
All right, now we have Ludwig, her third and final attempt at 105. Missed 100 on her first, made 100 on her second. 5 kilo jump. I believe this would be a PR for her.
This would be a personal best. Oh, wow.
And a big smile. That is a personal best for Ali Ludwig, the lifter from California, here as an extra lifter for the United States. She will not score points for the United States this week. Take a replay here.
This was perfect.
But this is a huge lift on her ultimate goal of qualifying for the World Weightlifting Championships later this year. This goes a long way toward getting that 230 or above total she would need to put herself in the running. We've seen her clean and jerk 124 kilos before, so right now
she's got a shot.
She's got a shot, yeah.
All right, so now Maria Valdez of Chile has been called at 107. She's moved up.
And this will bring up Narjuri Perez of Venezuela. And just like that, we're a little over halfway through this 90 kilogram session, the first ever 90 kilogram session contested at a senior Pan American Championships. And now we see how tightly these lifters are grouped. All of the remaining lifters in this session
Have yet to open.
No, there's only one that has yet to open.
Oh, excuse me, Solis.
But they're literally, every one of them now, there are 5 lifters left, and they're all listed. This could change, but they're all currently listed to attempt 108 next.
So it sets up the one more kilo than you game. So right now, Mary Santana is running a clock on that 108.
So all 5 lifters left in this session have to be thinking, I want a medal. I'm going to do what it takes to get to the medal stand. So it's going to be
the game starts.
A bit of a game. Who's going first? Who's attempting it first?
So with 108, Mary will move into the lead. And it will force the hand of everybody who follows. Do I want one more kilo? Even if I haven't opened yet. Wow, that looked like nothing. Santana was 4th last year in Cartagena. She snatched 101 kilos in the 75 kilo class. So she is one of the lifters who has moved up, and she clearly has enjoyed lifting at the heavier body weight. That was just a 100 kilo opener like nothing.
108 kilo
108.
opener. Yeah. As you see on the replay there, very smooth lift.
All right, so now Maria Valdez, she made her opener with 103 kilos. This is a 5 kilo jump, and we'll move her into 2nd place. Great punch out.
That looked even better than her first lift, JP.
It did, and while we take a look at this, one thing I should mention is that of the lifters who are on their 2nd attempt with 108, all of them are taking a 5 kilo jump to 108. It's a great lift. So that makes Santana's 108 even more of a great play, because it's unlikely that most of these lifters will take a 6 kilo jump. You're forcing
correct.
a very tough decision to put them in that spot.
And with the elimination of the body weight rule, it is not about who weighs less and lifts the same weight. You have to lift more or lift it first. Take a cut live here to Oliva Nieves' 2nd attempt snatch. This would move her into 2nd place in the snatch because this weight has already been lifted. And with that, she does move into 2nd place with 1 lift remaining. It is, JP, I mentioned, maybe I should eat my words here. I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, because this is a relatively new body weight category, we're not really sure where a lot of these top lifts will settle. But as Nieves shows here, and a lot of these lifters are showing, very tightly grouped.
So put it in perspective, one thing the Pan Am Federation did do is they did assign records based on historical performances of lifters that weighed between 75 and 90. And right now, the Pan American snatch record for seniors is 115. They've allotted that to Eva Dimas, of Colombia. Great lift there by Perez. So what that means is that we do have at least a standard set.
Right. That was a lifter lifting in the 75-plus kilo category, but on the lighter side of 75-plus.
All right, so let's take a look at this replay.
Good-looking lift.
Great
Has to walk it forward a bit, but really good. All around very solid.
And they went back as far as 2006 to find a lift to use as the standard, and that was it, 115 kilos. Actually, Eva Dimas has been allotted all 3 of the of the 90 kilo Pan Am records: 115 kilo snatch, 42 kilo clean and jerk, which I think is below the 75s, and then a 257 kilo total.
That's got to be a great
148.
That's got to be a great call or email to get 10 years, 11
After
years
you did it.
after you competed.
Yeah,
Hey,
hi.
just wanted to let you know. I know it's been a while, but you're a Pan American record holder. It might not stay too long, but you got it.
All right, so now here's Jessica Solis of Colombia. Second attempt, 110 kilos.
Now, with the way we're going, we could potentially see that we could potentially see a couple of lifters here go for that maybe 115, maybe even 116 range.
Very possible.
All right. Solis of Colombia, 110 kilos. Been a while since we've seen her on the international stage. But she is rounding out a very deep Colombian women's squad here in Miami. Doesn't look like she's been away for long.
No, and one thing about her is that over her career, she makes lifts, period. There are not a whole lot of red marks on her competition history, so that is yet another good one. And here is 110 kilos.
Great looking lift from Solis, and with that we will be bringing up, well, okay, this is where it gets, it's been interesting for a while, but with
Another change coming.
with 5 lifters left in the session, all of them with eyes on the podium, you could see some things change here.
So Oliva's moving up, and Nayuri Perez is also moving up. And that will put Maria Valdez on the bar at 111 kilos now. Valdez, who has made both 103 and 108, is out before Jessica Solis, who has a higher start number. Solis has the number 1 start number in the session, but Valdez is out because she opened with a lighter weight than Solis. So order of lifting puts Valdez on the bar. That was aggressive. That was aggressive.
All right, well, it seems to work for her. She's fired up, and she is 3 for 3, currently sitting in first. However, with 4 lifters
Alive
with remaining
attempts in the
attempts,
session.
she's going to need a little help here.
And right now, it looks like she's going to get some help. So Oliva Nieve will take the 111 that was loaded, which means this will move her into second in the snatch behind Maria Valdez, who was just successful with the same weight. Nieve is going to take her chances in the clean and jerk. That's what she's saying with this. $3-kilo jump from her second attempt success with 108. Shot her hips up a little bit.
Let's watch that from the side. I agree with you, JP, but she comes away with the lift.
Almost lost it underneath. Watch her hips. Watch the start of this lift. The hips come right up. And she had to jump forward just a bit to save that.
But she does, and that will give her a 3 for 3 performance in the snatch. Currently second place in the snatch.
Could drop her back as far as 5th, depending on how this shakes out.
And now Nayuri Perez of Venezuela with 112. This would move her into first place in the snatch, if only maybe temporarily.
But it is the strategy. It is the play she's
Right.
looking to win. So here is Perez, 112 kilos. And if successful, it will guarantee her a medal. Oh.
All right, well, just like that, the opportunity to move into first. She will
Take 108
yeah,
into the clean and jerk.
she will remain in 5th place. That is how
drop her to
tight.
7th.
7th.
Well, no, it will if either
Right.
of the 2 remaining lifters make a lift.
No, I believe she'll stay in 5th.
You will. She will. You're right.
But just like that, the difference between 1st and 5th.
It's not much.
It's
4 kilos.
It's
well,
slim.
and counting.
All right. Jessica Solis of Colombia, her 3rd and final attempt. We only have 2 lifters remaining, only 3 attempts left. This would move her into 1st. And with that, Maria Valdez of Chile is guaranteed a medal.
Correct. And Crismary Santana has already put in 113.
Well, that will be a no lift for Solis. She's currently sitting
in 3rd.
In 3rd, that could change. Any lift here, any made lift from Crismary Santana of the Dominican Republic would bump Solis out of medal contention.
Now, this is an interesting choice here because Santana did not need 113, but because she's on her 2nd attempt, she made a decision to push Solis onto the platform, which she has. One thing about Santana, this will move her from 4th to 1st, so that's a pretty significant swing. But one thing about her, she absolutely crushed 108 on her opener.
Again, another lifter who doesn't miss a lot. All right, well, she will be your gold medalist in the snatch, and the question is,
will we see a record?
Is she going for the Pan American record?
Do they even know it's a record? I don't know that everybody.
I think she does.
I
think she might.
Because 116 would seem like a great call.
Let's take another look at this. That's a beautiful lift. All right, well, she is going, no matter whether she makes this next attempt or not, she will be your gold medalist in the snatch. 2nd place will go to Maria Valdez of Chile. And in 3rd, we have Oliva Nieve of Ecuador.
The other thing is we do have to ignore, later as we get into it, we do have to ignore, because Ali Ludwig is in the session, the scoreboard is counting her.
That's correct.
So her 6th is really not real, which also goes back to the other point that we were talking about Santillan earlier. It's really 9 lifters in this group.
That's correct. Now, to be fair, that Ludwig's placing in the snatch has no impact on the podium in the snatch because she was not in that top 3. So the top 3 lifters in the snatch.
Right, I'm just thinking about the implications of the meet in general and how.
So anyone who finishes behind her, bump them up a spot.
Yes.
All right, 115 on the bar. My feeling is they're going to, looks like they are going to put in for a change would be my guess. No? Okay. Well, she's going to come out and attempt to tie the existing Pan American record. JP, you might have been right. I'm not sure if they knew that. Okay.
But strategically, this too is a nice lift. I mean, it will move her effectively 4 kilos ahead.
Yeah. This would extend her lead going into the clean and jerk. And obviously, the athlete and the Dominican Republic
would have to lead by 5, would have to beat her by 5. Anybody else would have to beat her by 5.
Well, they're thinking, what will it take to sweep the medals? And that'll be a no lift for Santana of the Dominican Republic. But she is your champion in the snatch and will take a 2 kilo lead heading into the clean and jerk portion. We will be back in 10 minutes for the clean and jerk portion of this, the first ever women's 90 kilogram session at the Senior Pan American Championships. Until then, I'm David Tao. I'm joined by JP Nicoletta. Don't go anywhere.
Quite sure if we're there.
And I have a theory on that I want to discuss a little bit after we see Carla Santillan take her opening attempt, the lifter from Argentina, opening at 100 kilograms. She snatched 78 during the previous portion of this session. All right, a great looking opener for the athlete from Argentina. We're going to watch that one again from the side. And JP, you said that, you know, clearly on the snatch, the standard that the Pan American Federation set, pretty close to actually what we're seeing here today.
Right.
There's a bit more of a spread on the clean and jerk as far as opening attempts, and I think we actually might see a bit more of a spread. And part of that is likely because, and here's my theory, we've seen athletes come down from the super heavyweight category. We've seen athletes come up from the 75 kilogram body weight category here. And the clean and jerk differential between those can be pretty big. So I think we're going to see more variability in this lift than on the snatch.
Yeah, and if you want perspective on the standard, the Pan Am record that has been established in this 90 kilo category is 142 kilos, which we mentioned was, I guess, grandfathered into Ava Dimas, who set that mark at the Pan Ams back in 2006. So if you want to compare that to other weight classes, the senior clean and jerk record in the women's 75 is actually 148. That's a pretty old record. That was set back in 2008. And the women's, what used to be the plus 75, which is now the plus 90, that clean and jerk record is 160. So compare those, or think about those numbers, 161, excuse me, compare those numbers to what we're seeing on the start list, and most of this field for now is opening at or around 120.
That's correct, yeah.
There are a couple in here with 130, so maybe we will be proven wrong by at least a couple of the athletes here. But now we've got Santillon back, 104 kilos, second attempt.
It's going to be a good second lift for Santillon, and she, in all likelihood, will be following herself here again. The next athlete is set to open, and this could change at 110 kilos. Let's look at the replay here. I think this actually looked a little better than her first lift, JP. Very good technician.
Yeah, nice job, and we saw a little bit of frustration in her snatch series where after two really nice attempts, she was left holding nothing.
Yeah.
2 misses on her first 2 attempts in the snatch. Both of them missed behind her, and she came through with the 78 kilo third attempt very nicely. Here in the clean and jerk, she started things off. She's looking at a 3 for 3 series. We're hopefully a minute and a half away from seeing her make 3 in a row.
And we talked about this during the snatch portion. It was a do-or-die lift for her on that last snatch after missing her first 2, not only for her, but really for Team Argentina, because this does open the point scoring period for the Pan American Games in 2019. That made snatch attempt, her last attempt, which gave her the ability to post a total today, was worth potentially, what, 16 points?
No, actually it's 17 because you see
points.
the scoreboard on screen. You have to ignore Ali Ludwig,
who is a non-point scoring athlete
which
in this
means,
session.
Carla is actually 9th.
Yeah.
Right now at the start of the clean and jerk, she was 9th, and then I think once you see everybody make a clean and jerk, Carla will continually be pushed down in the rankings. Assuming nobody bombs, she's looking at 9th place points, and that's a good day.
That's a good day,
in terms of.
And if she had not made a snatch, Argentina doesn't get those points.
No.
So you will see some athletes over the course of this week. We have seen some take conservative openers in order to guarantee points for the team.
Not seen many bomb outs at all.
No, no, sir. All right. Santillon of Argentina, third and final attempt, 108 kilograms.
If successful, this will give her a 186 kilo total. Nice rebound.
Great looking lift. So a bit challenging on the snatch today, but an excellent series of clean and jerks for Santillon, and she will finish with a 186 total, and that will bring up Yesenia Lozama of Venezuela for her opening attempt. Now, she was only successful with her opening snatch Let's see if she can do a little bit better on the clean and jerk here, opening at 110. She will come out for this. The session starting off maybe a little slow with some lifters following themselves, but once we get to the middle here, it's going to be a tight race.
Yes, and there are a couple of lifters in here with 110, so I think we'll get away from the 2-minute clock game, hopefully. Could be some changes, but again, I think we'll start seeing the pace of this thing start to pick up. Yesenia Lezama of Venezuela, first attempt, 110 kilos.
Great looking jerk, that's how you do it.
Good lift there for Yesenia. Also worth noting, well, Yesenia is from Venezuela. I believe she was initially on the reserve list. Minufre Murillo had been listed originally for Venezuela in this weight class, along with Nayuri Perez. Perez is here, but I think Lezama was a late add. All right, so now here is Alana Rosario, 110 kilos. Should be good.
Let's take another look here at Rosario's lift. Really nice looking clean and jerk there. Has to walk it forward a little bit. Nothing too challenging. And just a reminder, folks, Alexandria Ludwig of the United States is an extra athlete. She is lifting today, but will not be scoring points for Team USA, no matter how she does. Now, her total here has important personal implications for her. It could be used toward potentially securing a spot on the world team later this year. But as far as points goes for Team USA, she will not be scoring any. Now, the Brazilian delegation, there was a bit of movement and controversy. They ended up getting an extra lifter at the competition. That is Fernando Reyes, who we'll see in the men's super heavyweight category later today. He is also a non-point scoring athlete. The USA said if Brazil's going to get an extra one, we want an extra one. We want to get our lifter on the platform. All right,
they're granted that request, so
this will bring up Yesenia Lezama of Venezuela, her second attempt, 115 kilos.
Thankfully, everybody else didn't do the same thing. All right, good lift, clearly well within her. She hit the bottom position and just stuck.
I want to see that again from the side because her positions are really strong here. And I want to watch, especially on the jerk here. All right, a pause on the clean, but totally fine for her.
More than enough legs for this.
Look at that jerk.
Very good technique. Perfectly executed. Excellent lift. And now we've got a clock running on Alana Rosario, who is moving up to 116 kilos, but she will still be the lifter at 116.
And, you know, JP, it's probably a good thing for the fans watching here live in Miami and watching along at home on this live stream that Fernando Reyes is lifting later this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
He is undoubtedly the top super heavy in this hemisphere.
Going back a few years, no, that's not taking away from some other great supers we've seen, but he's been the cream of the crop, and he is coming off just a day of his life at the Rio Olympics. So I am glad that we are getting to see him. All right, so now Alana Rosario, 116 kilos. That's how it's done.
It's a good looking lift. So she only made her second attempt snatch, but the clean and jerks have looked pretty routine for Rosario. Automatic increase, but we will, I'm sure, see a change here. Yeah, Fernando Reyes actually competed in a a local meet not too far from Miami
Just
a couple
up
of
the
months
road,
ago,
Doral.
and did what probably is the most routine 225 kilogram clean and jerk that North America or South America maybe have ever seen. So certainly someone who's got his eyes on potentially a medal at the World Championships later this year, and also his eyes set on Tokyo at the end of this quad. But with that, we have Yesenia Lizama of Venezuela, third and final attempt, 118 kilograms. She's looked dynamite on her clean and jerk so far.
She was successful with just one of her snatches, that being her 85 kilo opener, but at the moment she has a 208 kilo total, looking to make that 211 kilos. It's a full commitment and a good fight. And by majority decision, that's a good lift. Now, one thing you see with her very consistently here, I think, over her series, and we'll take a look at this again, very nice start from the floor, very nice pull, but she tends to take a little bit of a crashing shot from the bar right there,
Yeah,
and doesn't really get a rebound. Now, to her credit, she's got very strong legs, and that was really how you plow underneath the jerk. That was no hesitation. Love it when I see that.
All right. This will bring up Kishla Rodriguez of Puerto Rico. She made all three of her snatch attempts and finished at 101 kilos in the snatch, 120 kilos on her opener, and we have several athletes opening at 120 and 130 here currently.
For now.
There will be some changes.
What does it look like, 8, 6? No. Never mind.
Widening the grip a little before the jerk.
Same thing as we saw in the snatch, that tendency to shift or turn to the right.
You sometimes tend to see that more on the clean and jerk toward the leg splitting backwards, which I think is what we're going to see here. So she splits her right leg back and kind of favors that side and starts rotating toward that side. She's actually already a little rotated.
Already.
Yeah, and watch. Oh, no, so apologies. It's the opposite.
So what you're saying is it's different from it.
It's the complete opposite of what I just said. So I couldn't be more wrong.
No, for her, but in general, your point is you tend to see that turn
toward the back
leg.
Yeah, the back leg. Yeah. But at least that might be speaking from personal experience. But
I never really thought about it before.
I
think it could be. I think there's something to that. Never really thought about that.
All right, Alana Rosario of the Dominican Republic will be opening at. Sorry, this is her third final attempt at 121. Alexandria Ludwig of the United States moved up from 120 to 122, so we won't see her for at least not on this attempt.
All right, so Rosario already has a 206 kilo total. This is a 5 kilo jump, so she too is looking for 281. 291. 81. No lift. All right, so she'll be credited with a 206 total. That's what she will finish with on her 116 second attempt.
And JP, we'll see here on the replay, she does pause in the bottom of the clean, and on the jerk, she just looks a little tired.
Looks a little tired.
End of a long day. It's tough to have fresh legs on your last attempt, and right here, she just doesn't get a lot of drive on that.
Yeah.
You can point out technical errors, but by the third and final clean and jerk attempt, it's tough to feel fresh as a lifter. All right, and with that,
for now, Rodriguez, but she's gone up. Yeah, so this will bring out Ali Ludwig at 124 kilos. She, believe, attempted.
She has hit this before in competition. This is, I believe, would match her heaviest lift from U.S. Nationals.
132.
Oh, no, apologies.
Yeah,
so this is something that we've definitely seen her do before. All right, now just a reminder, she is considered an extra lifter for the United States. She will not be able to score any points for the United States. However, this has important personal implications for her. An athlete looking to potentially make a world squad later this year, and this total could count toward that.
So give her 229. Very smooth.
All right, a little bit of footwork, but nothing that looked too challenging. Let's watch that one again from the side.
Good lift there for Ludwig, who's had a bit of a roller coaster this week. Would she be selected to represent USA for the Pan Am team? No. Would she be able to lift at the American Open? Maybe. Somehow or another found herself into this meet, and she short-stepped that quite a bit.
She sure did. Now, this is her first ever international meet. You can forgive her if nerves maybe have some implications for tweaks in technique, but she makes it work even with that extremely narrow split.
Goes to show you how strong she is.
Now, she's someone we've also seen do some power jerks on the stage before, so kind of halfway between the two on that one.
All right, so now here's Rodriguez of Puerto Rico. Second attempt, 125 kilos. She made her opener with 120. No.
Just gets rocked back on that. Let's watch the replay here. We can see that on the clean. Bales with it in front of her, which I think was probably a good decision.
She's made 118 a couple of times in competition. But 120, I believe, would be a personal best for Rodriguez, and that looked a little tentative. She has been put back on a 1-minute clock. Ali Ludwig was introduced at 25, then moved up. So Rodriguez has a decision to make here. And she has elected to move up for some rest. And that will bring out, well, there are going to be a little bit of a wave of changes here, I think. The 26 declaration for Ludwig was just announced. She's not taking this. So Rodriguez is now back, but just by virtue of those few changes, she picked up maybe 20, 30 seconds, and then a new 1-minute clock was reset. So at the end of the day, moving up 1 kilo brings her back on the platform and pretty much got her a full 2-minute rest. So in terms of strategy and play, you have to look what's around you, and that's a job well done, I think, by the Puerto Rican crew. And with 1 kilo more, I don't think that she's either going to make it or miss it at 25 or 26. So I think this was a good play.
I completely agree.
It's a better effort. Now, just a bit too much today for Keishla Rodriguez. She will be credited with her opening attempt of 120 kilos, and she will finish with a 221 kilo total.
All right, and this will bring up the first attempt for Jessica Solis, an athlete who we haven't seen on the international stage in some time, but clearly showing up here in shape, ready to score points for Team Colombia. And I do wonder if the introduction of the new 90 kilogram weight category influenced her decision to come back and compete.
Yeah, you know, very possible, because if you look at her competition history, and she's never in a major competition opened with more than 117. She did that at a World Championships. Junior World Championships, back in 2009. Here she is opening with 128. All right, good lift there for Solis. With that, with a lot of lifting to go, we still have not seen 4 lifters. Solis has moved into the lead. Speaking of a lifter we haven't seen, here is Oliva Nieve. Good start there by Solis. All right, so that 128 kilos stays on for Ecuador's Oliva Nieve. She snatched 111, which was good for a bronze medal. And if she's successful with this opening clean and jerk, she will move into the lead for now. All right, good lift.
All right, and with that, it looks like we will see the second attempt for Alexandria Ludwig, but first we're going to watch a replay of Nieve's lift here.
A very solid opener there for Olive.
Yeah, great looking lift. All right. Ludwig's second attempt. We've seen her go as heavy as 132 in competition.
Well, she's tried 35, I think. Yes. Has not made it. 132 is the most she's made.
Now, this would take her over that 230 kilogram total that she's probably looking for.
She's done 232. I think it's mid 230, so
Okay.
I probably misspoke earlier. I don't have the exact rankings in front of me for the U.S. team.
Oh, that'll be a no
Almost
lift.
saved it.
No lift for Ludwig. Looks like the scoreboard came down temporarily there, folks, but that was 128 kilograms. Let's watch it again from the front, actually, if we can. The clean looked very solid on that, JP.
Yeah. Very smooth technically.
The jerk was never quite there.
She did commit to that split a little bit more, but I think ultimately she was a little short-stepped again. And even though she didn't get fully through, she had it punched out.
Yeah, takes to the edge of that platform. You know,
Ran out of runway.
you got to wonder if she's actually going to go up a couple kilos here.
Why not?
The clean, I don't think is going to be any challenge for her today.
There is a reason why, actually. I think about it. For me, I would say, why not? You can, if you want to take a gamble. One thing, though, about Ali in her short competition career that we've seen is that there's been a tendency to miss, a little bit more, perhaps 50% or more of her attempts on a competition platform. So I think in bigger picture, longer term, thinking about future international appearances, future national appearances, to get into the habit or to get into a groove of making attempts, this goes a long way. So even if this is not a PR, even if this is not the number that you wanted to hit, coming back off a miss with a weight and repeating does get you past some of her adversity mentally, and it's not a bad decision to do that at all.
That's 100% right, JP. For a lot of these lifters, the hard work has been done. The training has been done. They're strong enough. It's whether the mental component can click with technique, rhythm, and peaking. A lot of that is the coach's job, but the athlete has to not get too inside of their own head on attempts and be confident enough to make good attempts. So we will see, as you predicted, third attempt, same weight.
Wow. Did you notice that? Oh, that would have been awesome if she made that.
That'll be a no lift for Ludwig. Yeah, she had a hitch, a bit of a kind of. Let's watch. Check this again from the side. A little bit of an extra movement there to start the lift.
She started the lift and came back like right there.
Yeah.
But she didn't really reset. She just continued. I mean, you don't have to any idea how strong you have to be to do that.
Now, folks.
I've never seen that before.
And she's
just
also
that jerk.
Yeah.
She's just not committing to splitting underneath the bar.
And just to note that, I mean, had she made that jerk, that would have been a good lift because the bar did not pass the knees.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, the lifter, you will see some lifters, and it's generally part of a dynamic start or something to help put their body in position. A lot of super heavyweights will do it. They will actually pull the bar a little bit off the ground to help them kind of set into a position, place the bar back down, and then continue the lift. If the bar passes your knees, you can't put it back down. You've taken an attempt.
Is it the knee? Yeah, but even there, the bar can't go. You can put it back down on the platform if it doesn't pass your knees. But like, you know, when you see a hitch, the biggest problem is that the bar will reverse direction in a hitch, and you are past your knees at that point, and that ultimately is the infraction.
Right.
I wonder if you drop lower back down, pause, lower back down, but don't touch the ground again if that's a no lift. I don't know, maybe the technical officials out there.
I do believe it is.
Right?
I do believe the bar has to be placed back down, I think.
In order for it to be okay.
Yeah.
So that could have been called against her. I think that's what we're saying. Because she didn't put it back down.
No, she did. It touched the platform again.
Oh, it did? Okay, all right,
it
then
did.
never mind.
Yeah, it touched the platform again.
All right, so a little unnecessary mental gymnastics there. We can go on with the competition.
and folks, JP and I could wax poetic about this stuff all day, and in fact, we do sometimes. So.
All right, so now here is Nieve of Ecuador, 132 kilos, second attempt. A little slow with that front leg getting out, but she got through. Let's take a look at this again.
JP, I love her jerk technique here.
But watch the front foot. It'll almost... Yeah.
She drifted, her weight drifted forward a little bit in recovering that back foot, which is why you will see some lifters recover with the front foot first.
So Maria Valdez is on the bar, and if you haven't heard yet, you will. There it is. All right, she did 135 kilos at the Olympics. Here she is opening with 33. Oof. Wow.
Great looking jerk for Valdez. And just like that, we are in the back third.
Let's see this from the front.
And just like that, we are in the back third of this competition. As we go to the replay here to watch Valdez's lift, all of the remaining lifters, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still active in the session, are looking to the medal stand at this point.
Watch the whip that she gets on this bar. Just watch it as she dips. Look at the bar just turn, just bend, whack. That was awesome.
Good
That's
looking
the
lift.
best jerk that I've seen at the Pan Ams thus far. That was
and that's saying a lot, JP. Because there are some, I mean, truly world-class athletes here. That's an understatement. All right, Nayuri Perez. Opening attempt, 133.
All right.
Another great jerk.
Perez, also an Olympian in Rio at plus 75. She was unable to make a clean and jerk. Here she is at the Pan Ams, and she is on the board thus far. 3 for 4 in her lift. She's just made her opener, and she currently has a 218 kilo total, and this is a very solid start to her clean and jerk series.
All right, and this will bring up Jessica Solis. She was in 4th place after the snatch portion. Right, Solis 133 on the bar.
Oh.
All right, that was a little surprising to me.
And that looked like it could have been a bit beyond what she's capable of today. She does have another attempt. Little bit of hesitation as she got into that pole.
Just crashes on her.
Cut right through her.
And just like that, we're nearing the end of this women's 90 kilogram session here at the Pan American Championships. If you're just tuning in, this is the 2017 Senior Pan American Championships, presented by the Pan American Weightlifting Federation, hosted by USA Weightlifting and broadcast by USA Weightlifting, with color commentary brought to you by barbend.com. I'm David Tao, joined by JP Nicoletta, and we've just got really a handful of clean and jerks left here for what's
less than 10
for what's been a very tightly packed session.
And it's about to get really interesting. Right now, we've got Jessica Solis coming back out on a short clock after that rough miss.
Now this is
with 133.
This is one of the toughest spots to be in weightlifting. That was not. She was not close to completing that clean.
No, and she was 4th in the snatch, and I got a feeling that even if she makes this, I think the medal stand is going to perhaps not be in the cards today for the total or clean and jerk. She committed to it.
Oh, well, that was a gutsy clean. Let's watch it again from the front.
You can see even from this front perspective, when she takes the bar off the ground, right as she shifts into that triple extension into the pull, there's a slight pause. It's almost there.
Yeah.
And bar hits her hard, but she gets out of that clean, and tough effort.
Well, she will finish the day currently in 4th place in the total, but we have yet to see the first attempt from Chris Mary Santana. She is your leader after the snatch, and she is opening at 135 kilograms. Lifter from the Dominican Republic.
If she's successful, this will give her a 248 kilo total.
Great clean. Takes that wide jerk grip that we've seen a lot of athletes this week use.
That should work.
All right, that's how it's done. That's a good lift for Chris Mary Santana, and she moves into 1st place overall and 1st place in the clean and jerk, but we still have 4 lifters active in this session. That's an extremely tight grouping, and Chris Mary did take a lead out of the clean and jerk, but it was only 2 kilograms. Only 2 kilos. So still, you got to think, it's anyone's race.
Well, Nieve, who is 5 for 5 thus far, is looking for 135 kilos for her final attempt. If she is successful, it will move her into 2nd place overall in the total. All right. Uh-oh. That's going to be no lift. They're going to turn this down.
Yeah, she's and
You have to buzz in. Come on.
all right, folks. 2-1 against. And for those who might not be,
Let's look at it from the front.
yeah, for those who might not be used to some of the more esoteric rules of weightlifting, this is an important one though. She double dipped.
Right. You cannot make an apparent effort to start the jerk and then not complete it, and that's exactly what she does right here as she's setting up. Amazing part is that she actually jerked it, but right here is this double dip. She attempted it, went back to a set position. Now, what was supposed to happen, and I'm not sure why it didn't, was when 2 referees signaled in red, the buzzer should have gone off. So she kind of got hung up to dry.
I did hear the buzzer.
Oh, and she missed it.
And I think there was some crowd noise, and I think that's what kept us from hearing it. Now this will bring us to the second attempt for Nayuri Perez of Venezuela.
If she's successful, she too will move into second. Tough clean. Crashed on her. No.
Let's watch that one from the side. That clean.
That took a lot out of her
Yeah,
too.
included a couple of shifts here that we'll see. Well, she still has 1 attempt left, but not able to make much of a go at that jerk after a tough clean. And really, look at that. Rocks onto her toes. Does save it, but unable to complete the jerk. Just a handful of attempts left here, and that'll be no lift for Perez. Now, she is on a 2-minute clock and will be attempting that again. This would take her, at least temporarily, into first place.
And this is a case where I believe she would get a rest if she went to 138, because Maria Valdez, who made 133 on her first attempt, is currently sitting on 138. And I think that is a likely number for Valdez. But that one, that extra kilo,
could make a difference here.
right.
As far as
Sometimes we say we feel like it can't,
as far as whether the lifter can make the lift, that was,
or it won't.
as far as how this lifter is feeling right now, that looked like a near maximal attempt.
Agreed. So we are going to see Nayuri Perez come back out with this 137 kilos. She has done as much as 150 in competition. She did that at the Olympic test event in Rio, but she weighed over 100 kilos.
Yeah, so
she's a full 11 kilos down from that day. So you can see a lifter like this being, it's a different, everything is a different structure, it's a different position.
The physics of the lift are certainly different. The bar path can change a lot when an athlete loses that much body weight.
And there could be a lot less gas in the tank.
Yeah. And it especially makes the jerk more challenging, we've seen, because you have less mass to actually put behind the bar. There's less force there.
All right, so now here is Perez, 137 kilos. If she's successful, she will move into second in the total. No.
Well, I think you
much.
called it, JP. There's not a lot of gas in the tank left for Perez, so she will be credited with her opening attempt clean and jerk at 133. Currently sitting in third in the clean and jerk, but we have 4 attempts left to go.
Now here is Maria Valdez, who was second in the snatch with her 3 for 3, 111 kilo third attempt. She opened with 133 kilos, made that, moved up 5 kilos. So this will take her to 249 kilos. It's terrifying. Easy. Solid again. That's going to be a good lift. 138. She did 137 as a 75 at the Pan Ams last year. She was 5 for 6. She won the Pan Am. So she's looking to make it 2 gold medals in a row. But in her way is Crismary Santana, who still has 2 attempts to go. We're down to our final 3 lifts of the women's 90 kilo category.
And Crismary looks strong in the snatch. Missed her third and final attempt at 115, so only led by 2 kilos coming out of that portion. We have a battle here for both clean and jerk gold and overall gold. Every lift is going to, every made lift now pretty much is going to put a lifter in
which is
front.
what we've just seen with Valdez, who is now in the lead with 249 kilos. This will put Crismary Santana back ahead of Maria Valdez of Chile.
And that looked even better than her opener.
It did.
All right,
And
she moves into first in the clean and jerk and the total.
And Santana is going to play this out. She is going to take whatever she needs, and I think she is going to play the game to put Valdez out on the platform. First, she has the attempts in hand, so...
Well, Valdez is guaranteed a silver medal,
Across the board.
across the board, yeah, in the snatch, clean and jerk, and total. So we're watching the replay of Santana's lift here. Bam, that's a great-looking lift.
Yeah, and there's a lot more on this.
So Valdez is... You're right, JP. Valdez is going to take whatever she needs to potentially
move ahead.
Yeah.
And they're going to jockey around here a bit. So Valdez is going to take, or has been called with 42. That 42 will move her back into the lead, which would push Crismary Santana to 143 to try to decide the gold medal. If Valdez misses with this weight, it is over. Crismary Santana is the champion.
And this, by the way, this lift ties the senior Pan American record that has been retroactively granted for this new weight class.
So we have seen that in both the snatch and the clean and jerk, an attempt to tie it. And again, Valdez, who was a gold medalist last year at Pan Am's, is not interested in going home with a silver. And she has just delivered a perfect 6 for 6 day.
And let's watch that again from the side, largely to see her reaction.
53 kilo total and guaranteed silver, possibly gold, with this lift right here.
That was a gutsy lift here, JP. The jerk looked great. All of her jerks have looked fantastic on the day.
That's what a perfect day looks like. All right, this is it.
So this is for gold, and this would set a new Pan American record in the clean and jerk. Now again, that record retroactively granted.
And that's great. It will take a Pan Am record to win right now.
The first ever senior Pan American championship in the women's 90 kilogram category. You couldn't have drawn it up any better. The last lift of the session, Crismary Santana of the Dominican Republic. Oh.
No, that is a surprise.
And that means your champion will be Maria Valdez of Chile. She back-to-back Pan American champion in a new weight class.
That's right.
So no longer defending,
but the first ever.
But the first ever Pan American champion in this women's 90 kilogram category. Well, we'll watch that last attempt here again. Folks, that brings us to the end of this session. We will be back at noon Eastern Standard Time today for the men's 105 kilogram category, which is...
Actually, I want to check that real quick.
A packed session at the 105s. So looking forward to...
Okay, it will be noon for the men's 105s. And that is an absolute must-watch. We've said it before. We'll say it again. Why not? We will be back in just a little bit.